Good evening and welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Lord, and Big Low Kuntry is back with us for the first time since we acquired Matthew Judon and Justin Simmons. And I don't know how you feel. I'm assuming you feel the same way that we do, but the vibes on the show, the vibes, the way that we think about the Falcons, honestly, the vibes in my everyday life as I walk around thinking about football season has changed over the last week. What do you say, Big Low?
Man, hey, Bo, look here. Lock and load, Bo. Lock and load. Let's go. Ain't no more playing games now. Ain't no
Yeah.
more playing games. What they say? I was playing in the beginning, the mood all changed. And look, it's changed up now. Let's go, man.
I
Let's
mean,
make this run.
it really, every time I get up here, I feel like I kind of want to scream and start making Falcon noises. Call, let's go. Like every single show, because I'm serious right now. I mean, you look at this team on paper, right? That cornerback, Mike Hughes, Clark Phillips, however that sorts itself out, maybe the Falcons find someone that is cut from another roster. Yeah, there's some depth issues in the secondary still, but as far as the defense, the best defense we put on paper, maybe in the last 2 decades, 2017 is the only one I can really think of that stacked up going into the season. We've talked about the offense and how excited. There's just not a lot of holes, and what excites you most is the versatility of this team, just from an offense and a defensive perspective, the ways they can win, the ways Jimmy Lake can throw different coverages. All these guys can do different things. You got a nice mix of young, unproven talent that's hungry, veterans. It's kind of like the perfect melting pot here in Atlanta to do something special. Kind of reminds me what like Detroit had last year when they made that jump. That's what I'm kind of feeling right now.
Hey, man, I completely agree with you. I think sometimes all the stars align, right? I mean, if we ask this question, do you think we would have made these moves if Braylon Trice and DeMarco Hellams would have went down?
That's the $1 million
Don't get
question.
me don't get me started.
That's the
about
$1 million
that,
question
man.
that we will never know, probably. And honestly, I don't want to know, because at the end of the day, they got the guys. And however you get the guys, you get the guys. I hope that's not the case. It certainly seems like it might have been the case, which seems stupid. But at the end of the day, does it matter? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, if
Doesn't
those
matter.
two guys had to go down, if that were the case, if those two had to go down and sacrifice to get guys like that, thank you for your services. Thank you for your sacrifice.
Best draft picks in Falcons history.
Best draft picks literally in Falcons history. Braylon Trice didn't take a snap, and it netted Matthew Judon, maybe. I mean, yeah, I'm so excited. I wrote something today on our site about 6 months ago. Just think about 6 months ago, January, we fire Arthur Smith. And we still have some talent. And so there's some hope and optimism that somebody like Raheem Morris could come in here and spark some life into Flowery Branch in Atlanta. But it was down. Like, we were down after firing Arthur Smith. Maybe we had that monkey off our back where we were kind of happy to be done with Arthur Smith, and that kind of like almost like a storm cloud over Atlanta. And then Raheem Morris comes in and we're like, okay, this guy kind of gets me juiced up. And then we sign Kirk Cousins. We go through a little bit of a lull, a couple months in training camp. We have questions about the defense. We're going, if this offense is really, really good, some rookies step up, we can really make a run. And then in the matter of like 48 hours, we trade for Matthew Judon, Justin Simmons. 6 months ago to now is night and day, 180 degrees. I mean, I was the most pessimistic Falcons fan. I didn't think, Arthur Blank, Rich McKay could ever get out of their own way. They're letting Raheem Morris take control of this team. I have never been more optimistic about a Falcons team in my lifetime. I really don't. Maybe 2017 was just about the only other one. But this one, like you said, it feels different. It feels different. 1-year deals. The stars are aligning. Why not us? Get a little bit of injury luck. Why not us?
Why not? Why not? And then think about it. I mean, the move that everybody was, kind of sore about, drafting Michael Penix. You mentioned it. It's like, if we're good as far as injuries go, but we literally have an insurance plan. I'm an insurance professional. We have an insurance plan literally in Michael Penix, and the crazy thing is that Raheem Morris, he's protecting that with, which is one thing that a lot of people are kind of iffy on. He's even protecting that insurance plan by not even playing Michael Penix the last 2 preseason games.
Let's stick on Raheem Morris, and you can get into the Penix because I know you have some opinions about him not playing in the preseason. But Is it kind of amazing how quickly he's come in? And the number one thing that he was like praised for is using these relationships and having these relationships and all the respect and how he's going to utilize the way people view him to bring people into the building. And that's been the number one thing. I mean, he's still got to coach football games and win football games, but Matthew Judon, I don't think picks Atlanta over Chicago if Raheem Morris isn't the head coach of the Falcons. I don't think Justin Simmons is here without Matthew Judon. Zach Robinson isn't here without Raheem Morris. Like Raheem
Kirk
Morris,
Cousins too,
Kirk Cousins might not be here. Like what he has come beyond what he was advertised in that regard. And I think that's what gets you most excited, because there's a culture here that Arthur Smith was trying to build for 3 years. And I think he started it. Terry Fontenot as well, bringing in Jesse Bates, Caden Ellis. He obviously had Grady Jarrett. But still, everything that Arthur Smith was preaching and Terry Fontenot was preaching has sort of come together in 3 months that didn't come together in 3 years under Arthur Smith.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, and you think about it, and y'all make the point. You say, whenever Raheem Morris came in, I don't know if any of y'all, if you ever been in a relationship and you
Never.
you separated.
Not us.
Yeah, y'all have been in what? Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you. I was in a relationship, and then you kind of separate, or you say, hey, we need some time away from each other. So you step away for a few weeks, and then you come back. And then all the things, or a lot of the things that you was doing wrong before, after you had a chance to have some introspection, you said, oh, you know what? I'm going to fix this time. I don't feel like it's a situation where Raheem Morris is just coming in here. He's just coming back. It's a situation where, he's been here. He's familiar with the situation. He's familiar with the facility, with a lot of the players on that 2016 Super Bowl team. He's just coming back, and he's just bringing he's bringing a few more resources with him this time. So, I mean, you talk about, all these relationships he's built over the years while he was in LA. And I mean, even going back to Tampa Bay, do y'all know how many coaches I've talked to while we've been on this recruiting trip with my little cousin?
Tons.
Who tell me, they say, man, y'all got Raheem Morris. Let me tell you something. He's probably one of the best coaches in the NFL.
Yeah. We heard similar things from guys that played for the Rams, that weren't even defensive players, and these are the guys that like are fringe practice squad players that maybe got on the roster at the end of the year because of injuries and stuff like that. The fact that he was able to have that impact with a guy on the other side of the ball, right? Some guy that he's not even coaching, like a tight end that's a fringe roster player, have that impact, and they be able to say that tells you the way that he's able to impact an entire locker room, not just, the group of players that he's coaching. Like it's very evident. Everybody that has coached with him, everybody that has played for him has so much good things to say. And I think you look at that time with the Rams under another great offensive mind with Sean McVay. I mean, think about the offensive minds this guy's worked with. I know he's more of a defensive coach, but McVay, Kyle Shanahan, now Zach Robinson, like he knows the offensive side of the ball as well as the defensive side of the ball. It seems like now you talk about the stars aligning for the Falcons. The stars seem to be aligning for Raheem Morris to do something in Atlanta and be the coach that everybody believes he can. And I got to ask you something, Big Low. What is going to be our chant this year for Raheem Morris? I know we had Arthur Smith has got to go last year, right? We got to get something new, a positive chant this time for Raheem Morris.
Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris for president. Screw Trump. Screw Kamala Harris. Everybody loves Raheem Morris. We win a Super Bowl. He might platform off of a Super Bowl and go into the presidential election. A late nominee, an independent. Raheem Morris for president. Seriously, what can't this guy do?
Man, I love him, man. I love him. But look, I mean, I'm going to talk to Coach Roney, but as of right now, the chant that I have, got him. That's all I got.
I like this. So, Alex, I'll let you go on this real quick before we wrap this up. But Michael Penix not starting in the preseason. We had Florio come out with his crazy conspiracy theory. Actually, Chris Sims and Florio had his where it was Kirk Cousins isn't ready to play. They're going to give Michael Penix a trial run to start the season to let Kirk Cousins heal up. And then Chris Sims had one too that the Falcons are afraid to Michael Penix to look too good in the preseason, and they want to avoid quarterback controversy.
See, obviously, I think the real answer is something much simpler, that Raheem Morris doesn't value the preseason as much as it is a risk to injury. And what Big Low said, that like he's our insurance, he's our backup plan. You're protecting your nest egg, your baby, and everything like that. I don't think it's that crazy. Florio's an idiot. He's just he's an average NFL fan with a big platform. He's just like me and you. He says dumb stuff. He's just got a way bigger platform. Chris Sims is a little bit more believable in my opinion, because what if I've been saying this all season that Michael Penix has all the physical. He has the arm that Kirk Cousins dreams of having. Obviously, Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback at this juncture. He's more experienced, seen a lot of the defenses, familiar with the offense, everything like that. But Michael Penix can make throws that Kirk Cousins couldn't even dream of making. So I don't think that's as crazy as Florio saying that they're going to give Penix a trial run. But if Penix goes out there with backups, not Kyle Pitts, not Drake London, and he looks like the real deal, I mean, it more so than anything, it's not going to spark, not a lot of confidence in Kirk Cousins. I think it would spark, some sort of mutiny in the locker room. And we spoke to some guys who have been in Flowery Branch, and they said there's none of that. Everybody knows their role and everything like that. But I think that's way more plausible that, that could create some strife in the locker room of like, Kirk Cousins struggles a little bit. We saw what Michael Penix did in the preseason. That boy can spin it. I want to see some Michael Penix. I saw him for one quarter against the Ravens or the Dolphins, and I want to see more. So, is that crazy?
Nah, that's not crazy, because I can tell you something, Alex. If Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Darnell Mooney would have been playing with Michael Penix,
yep,
he would have had 180 yards in that short period of time that he had. Because he looked legit.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel like you're just trying to protect your insurance plan. I feel like it's a umbrella. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's just much more simple than all these conspiracy theories. Yeah. It's Raheem Morris. He doesn't value the preseason. Doesn't want to risk the injury to Michael Penix. I mean, behind a shoddy offensive line, it's obvious what he's doing. I don't agree with it. More so because I want to see Michael Penix play football, but every snap counts in my opinion, especially at quarterback. You can't replicate live bullets being shot at you and things like that. So I always think he should play.
But listen, regardless of that, and that might be a storyline that the media loves to use Atlanta as their punching bag. But I think the reality of the situation in Atlanta and everything that Falcons fans and people that are paying close attention and people that aren't just haters are realizing that this whole Michael Penix, Kirk Cousins thing that they wanted so badly to be an issue, an internal issue, has not turned into an issue. Actually, it looks like it's all going to plan. Michael Penix looks better than we actually thought he might look this early. Mm-hmm. Kirk Cousins is healthy and looks ready to go for week one. They actually fixed the defensive side of the ball. Raheem Morris looks to be a better option than Bill Belichick. So everything that everyone was trying to hate on, listen, I was critical of things.
The national media, something doesn't sit right with them when things are going right in Atlanta for the Falcons, because one, they're not used to it, and two, because like you said, for years we've been the punching bag, dating back to 2016 or even before that. The Atlanta Falcons have been the punching bag on a national stage. And like you just said, I think it's going better than planned this entire offseason. Raheem Morris to Kirk Cousins to Michael Penix to the acquisitions, everything is going to plan. Everything is going well. And that probably just doesn't sit well with some folks.
I mean, look, and what makes it even worse, guys, is that I'm hearing that there are more moves to be made. I'm hearing rumblings about Patrick Peterson. I'm hearing rumblings about...
don't bring me an LSU Tiger. Don't bring me an LSU Tiger.
Oh, my God.
Don't bring me an LSU Tiger.
You kind of shook a little bit. I said, look, I'm hearing rumblings about Patrick Peterson.
I mean, listen, there are guys out there, and there's guys that are going to be cut. I mean, wide receivers, you could add another wide receiver. Cornerback, definitely. I mean, if they get another quarterback in here...
If they bring Pat P here...
I might not be able to do a segment on here without screaming and making weird noises and saying we're going to win the damn Super Bowl. I might do every Falcon segment shirtless, and nobody wants to see that. but we're getting to that point where I'm excited, and my tune has changed on this organization, and it's credit to Morris. It's credit. You can credit Blank for ignoring
we got a new locker room, a new head coach, new quarterbacks.
It's awesome.
It's going to be a new Mercedes-Benz.
Yes, new Mercedes. That's what I'm most excited about this season. That's the last piece of the puzzle to me, because I've been extremely critical about Mercedes-Benz and the crowd. We finally have every reason for that place to fill up. I want to see it filled up, and that's not just on the fans. It's on Blank. It's on everybody. They got to figure out a way to make that place a real home field advantage. Big Low, thank you so much as always for joining us. You're always awesome. I'm really excited to watch this season.
Couple weeks, we'll see you there.
Yeah, watch this season with you and have you on the show throughout the season.
Hey, man, I'm definitely looking forward to it. You already know what time it is, man.
Let's go, baby. Rise up.
Now.